Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel here for another day. Okay, so we're going to continue on this week, as I mentioned, to talking about the stabilization endurance phase, which is obviously the most important phase when you're trying to build your body from the ground up. Okay, today we're going to be doing part two. The routine that I'm going to be showing you guys today, it's a little bit more complex than the one yesterday, just because there's some exercises we're going to be doing that are basically going to be on a single leg stance. And also suspended exercises, for the upper body as well. Okay, these are routines that may be a little bit more into the intermediate level, so just to let you guys know, a little disclaimer. Intermediate level meaning that it's a little bit more advanced than you would normally think, but at the same time, there are some exercises here that you can definitely do. Okay, so for those of you who are beginners, there are some variations that I'm going to show you as well that you can do that are a little bit easier if you feel that these can be a little bit challenging for you to start. Okay, so let's get straight into it. We're going to start off obviously with a stretch. Okay, we're just going to come here with the stability ball here and just kind of stretch out. So you're going to make sure when you lie down, get a nice little stretch, really work your way down. You're going to light hyperextension on the back. Let's hold that position for about maybe 5 to 10 seconds. And then release. We're going to do that one more time. Just going to land the ball, come all the way back, and release. So, again, if you have a stability ball like this one, guys, I definitely recommend it. Okay, it's a great one to use. You're just going to basically just lie down in this position right here. Just kind of roll yourself down and kind of just get back there and really stretch out. Hold that position. Alright, just loosen up, build that abdominal wall right here, really just control that breathing as best you can. And slowly rotate backwards. There we go. Alright, so let's do some static stretches. Okay, so again, static stretching is also a very efficient way of stretching out your muscles before you get started into your routine. Okay, so again, we're just going to start off by stretching out. Start off with the quads. Okay, just get a nice stretch in those quads, kind of hold that in place. Again, if you want to intensify a little bit, you're more than welcome to bring the leg back. And this is how you get a little bit more of a stretch there. Try to hold that position as best you can. Okay, switch sides, do the other side. Go. Okay, so now we're going to come down, kind of do a little bit of the hamstrings. So you're going to spread your legs apart as wide as you can. Okay, we're just going to come forward, bend those hips. Try to keep that back straight and reach down. Really feel the stretch coming back here, right in the hamstring section right here all the way up to your glutes. Okay, so and bend. Hold that position as best you can. Slowly roll yourself back up. Okay, come down. Stretch again. And roll yourself back up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just kind of rotate around like this. Some nice hip rotations. Going to work a little bit of mobility of those hips. Okay, if you feel you need to hold yourself, if your balance is limited, you're more than welcome to hold on to a base here. Just kind of give yourself a little bit more stability. I definitely recommend this for those of you who are starting off. Naturally, these kind of stretches even can be a little bit challenging. Same thing on the other side. Okay, just kind of loosen out as best you can. Going to come in for the shoulders. Okay, switch sides, same thing. Got to make sure to really stretch out as best you can. Stretching becomes a very important part of your process. So make sure that your muscles are nice and loosened up. Make sure you're nice and warmed up as well in terms of your blood flow. Okay, your circulation. Get the body warmed up. Just rotate back and forth. Now, what we're going to do for the shoulders here is we're going to basically grab a bar like this one. If you have this, feel free to use it. If not, you can always grab maybe like a mop broom or something like that, like a stick from a broom. Also can be used. So we're just going to kind of go back and forth like this. Okay, nice and easy. Just try to control that as best you can. Okay, we're going to go side to side. Okay, just trying to really loosen up those shoulders and that upper back. Try to get a good stretch in that area. And nice to get those muscles warmed up. Okay, now I like to do a little figure eight. This is a little bit more complex. So basically just kind of rotate around like this. Go around your head. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing in the other side. Just kind of rotate around. Okay, get those, again, get it, that section up there really, really loosened up. Ready to go. Alrighty? Alright, so we're going to go back and just doing some stretches for the chest. So again, for the chest, what I like to do is I like to come over here in the base, push forward, kind of hold that position as best you can. You want to make sure that you really feel that stretch coming from your chest right here. The other side, same thing. Get a full stretch. Good. Now, again, what I like to do is do some rows. So you want to grab like a red band like this one. Kind of just come back like this, back and forth. Really get that back loosened up. Do maybe about 5 or 6 reps of those. Nice. Make sure that you're nice and loose. All right, guys. Okay. All right, so we're going to get straight into it. So the workout, as I mentioned today, is going to be a little bit more intensive and a little bit more volume of training. Here are some more exercises incorporated, and it might be a little bit harder than you may expect. It's going into what we call intermediate level training. Okay, so we're going to start off first with an exercise that I like to do a lot, which is a chest fly. So the chest fly is basically, it can be done in 2 ways. So you can do it with a band, cable system, which is pretty much the same thing, all with dumbbells. Incorporate obviously a barbell, but barbells nowadays when you're working out at home can be a little bit challenging for some people. So if you have some couple dumbbells, I definitely recommend using those. And again, so remember, this is a stabilization endurance. There's a lot of balance techniques that needs to be incorporated here. So you need to focus first on strengthening your inner core muscles, your deep stabilizers, and then the weight factor comes later. So no need for a lot of heavy weight because this can already be challenging for that core. Okay, so we're going to start off with a couple sets. Okay, we're going to do some chest flies here. I'm just going to show you this real quick. Alright, so this one right here, again, it's a nice exercise to kind of loosen up a little bit. Again, these are mobility exercises, guys. They're not meant really for strengthening, just for mobility, just to get your muscles nice and loose. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab the band like this. I'm going to come forward and come out. Forward and out. Alright, it's another great exercise you can incorporate. Okay, just to get you nice and warmed up. Alrighty. Really control it as best you can. You gotta make sure to really get that body nice and loose. I like to spend anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes, but again, you can do a little bit less if you feel, if you don't have a lot of time on your hands. Okay, but a good 10 to 15 minutes is a good amount of time to really start to loosen up the body, to stretch out. Okay, so definitely want to incorporate that. And again, I had to do the reverse section too, so like I was doing before. Just kind of coming in and then coming out. In and out. To really get that back nice and loosened up. Okay, make sure to really control that as best you can. Those muscles need to be loose. Alright. Okay, so now that we're nice and warmed up, we can get started with the routine. Okay, so again, I took maybe about 5 to 8 minutes there just to get yourself nice and loose, and now you go into the moment where you actually go into the routine. Okay, so we're going to start off single leg exercises today is going to be our focus, doing upper and lower body combined. Okay, so the first exercise we're going to incorporate is a single leg band lat pull down. Okay, now with this one, what I want you guys to do, we're going to do a couple sets here just to show you. Now I recommend with this one, since it's a medium resistance band like this, for example, if you have one at home, I recommend starting off anywhere between 10 to 12 reps. Again, if you want to increase to 15, you're more than welcome to as well, depending on how you feel. But what we're going to do is we're going to come over here like this. I should have put it over. If you have something like a door handle or something like that, guys, or maybe like a base, I recommend you just kind of hanging it off here. Okay, it's a good way to start. So we're going to do a lat pull down, but unilateral lat pull down. So with this one right here, with the leg, we're just kind of going a single leg stance. You're going to hold that position as best you can, and you got to make sure to really push down with the handles. Okay, so the single leg stance is going to be like this. Okay, incorporating that one leg, okay, completely suspended, the other leg on the ground. So that's going to be your base. And the top part is basically just doing the lat pull down. So as I stand in a single leg position, lat pull down is basically just coming in like this. You want to make sure to really control that as best you can. Okay, starting here, working your way down. Okay, what we're trying to do here is basically trying to target those large back muscles, those lats, while keeping yourself in that one-legged stance. Okay, again, it can be challenging. Make sure to really control it by engaging your core, keeping that leg as stable as possible. Okay, so I'm going to get to 12 reps here, and then we'll take about a 30-second break. Okay, this one right here is definitely a good exercise for beginners. Okay, pretty easy to do. Again, you just have to really control your stability there as best you can by engaging that core and really keeping that leg stable. All right, so now we're going to switch over to the other side. So remember, you got to make sure to switch over from one leg to the next, and then you take about a 30-second break and come into the next set. Okay, so same thing on the other side. Another 12 reps. Make sure you really come down. Feel those back muscles working. Really control that as best you can. Okay, so we got a couple more. Nicely done, guys. All right, so we're gonna rest for about 30 seconds now. Okay, and then we're gonna get into the second set here. Okay, so again, this is an exercise that, unlike yesterday where we targeted basically the same type of format, but we used an equipment ball, a stability ball, to basically work on that deep strengthening of the core muscles and those deep stabilizer muscles throughout your body. Today, our focus point is basically going to be on a single leg stance, which is a different way of really building those muscles, okay? So now we're going to do, again, come with set number 2. So remember, you want to be able to hang this up on the base like I am here. You want to control that. So in the single leg stance, the leg straight up, and the other leg is on the ground, okay? You're going to come down, really control that as best you can. All right, get the full range of motion. Make sure to really work that back. So you're going to make sure your breathing is consistent. The hardest thing about doing these kind of exercises is being able to keep that balance. All right, so you got to make sure to really focus on that. That's why the weight factor is not really needed to go up too much. You don't want to be able to increase the weight factor to like 25 or 30 pounds, for example, when you're doing this. You want to keep it at a light resistance just to get you started, to really concentrate on the main goal, which is your balance. Okay, we're going to switch sides now. So other leg now comes up. Same thing, another 12 reps. Really control that as best you can. Nice and easy, all the way down. Really get that full range of motion there to work those large back muscles. 2 more. And rest. Nicely done. Alright guys, so that was our first exercise, working the large back muscles, the latissimus dorsi muscles. So now we're going to go into exercise number 2. Okay, make sure you get a quick drink of water. Okay, we're going to be resting for about 30 seconds. While we do that, I'm just going to explain to you the next one. So the next one we're going to be doing is basically a tricep exercise. Same format, single leg stance, keeping that leg up high. But what we're trying to do here is trying to work the triceps by keeping our elbows locked in and coming straight down. This is a tricep extension, okay? So with this one, I'm going to do it forward. I find it a little bit better doing this position right here, and it's going to come forward like this. Okay, now with the triceps, you got to make sure you want to keep your arm and your shoulder steady. These 2 muscles stay steady. And you want to make sure to just work from the elbow joint coming forward and back. It's all in the elbow. Okay, so single leg stance, keeping the leg up high. You're going to come forward. Keep those elbows tucked in together right next to your rib cage. Okay, right next to your shoulder. Okay, in the same width. You don't want to bring your elbows too far out. You want to keep them nice and tucked in. Okay, really control that as best you can. So again, a little bit more of a challenge because it requires some more stability. It requires you to engage your core, but it's a great way to really not only strengthen the deep muscles in your leg complex, but also strengthen your core muscles, strengthen your back, and strengthen your triceps in the process. Okay, so we got a couple more, guys. And this one can get a little heavy after a while, so if you need to decrease the resistance band, you're more than welcome to. Again, this is a medium band, the red one. There's also lighter bands like a green or a yellow that you can also put into effect. It's a little bit less challenging, but again, it still works you pretty hard. Remember, the further out you go, the more resistance built in from the band. Okay, so bring that leg up high. Control that as best you can. Okay, single leg stance, doing the triceps. Nice and easy control. Okay, a couple more. All right, so we're going to take a short break. Make sure to rest for about 30, maybe 40 seconds. We'll get into set number 2. All right, so focus points here are basically on balance. Okay, remember that weight factor, if you increase too much, it becomes a little bit more challenging to do. Not only that, but it's not really your focus. You're trying to build strength on a deeper level first before you can build it on an exterior level. So it's so important to start off with you focusing on balance first. That's the key. Okay, so we're going to do set number 2. Same thing, trying to keep your elbows tucked in right where your shoulders are. Leg up. Okay, I like to start off, doesn't really matter, you can start off with your right or your left. You're going to be switching anyway, so I'm going to make sure to really just keep that leg up high and really control that balance through that long leg on the other side. Okay? Nice and easy. Make sure to really control that breathing too. Your diaphragm really needs to be used on this one. And engage that core. Okay, so we got a couple more here, guys. Alright, so we're going to switch over now to the other leg. Bringing it straight up. All right, really keep that other base leg secure. And make sure to engage that core, same thing. Keep going. So again, these are wonderful exercises to incorporate too. If you're the person who wants to build that stabilization endurance, again, we're working from the ground up. It's like building a house. So stabilization endurance being the first phase, trying to build your body to perfection. These are the exercises you got to start off doing. And I recommend when you're doing these exercises, so maybe for a couple months, like 2-3 months of stabilization endurance. Okay, then after that you continue on by working in the next phases as you go on. Okay, and I'll explain that to you as we go on as well. But for this week, we're focusing on this phase 1, which is stabilization endurance. All right, guys, so that was a tricep exercise. We're going to switch it over now. We're going to do a little shoulder exercise now. Okay, so for the shoulders, again, shoulders are basically the same format with a single leg. But with this one right here, we're trying to do it with dumbbells. So with the dumbbells, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a couple weights like this. And turn you over. Okay, so we're trying to get into the same stance here with a single leg up. So we're going to do it. We're going to keep that single leg, okay, suspended. Make sure with the right foot on the ground and really secure that. While you're doing it, you're going to be doing shoulder press. So now this one can be a little bit tougher. So what I recommend is when you start, for you, those of you who are beginners, please start off with a lighter weight because this can be very tough to do. Overhead exercises when you're on an unstable surface can be very challenging. Okay, so I recommend starting off with maybe like 5 or 10 pounds tops. And as you go on, as you progress, building more strength in the inner level here, you can more than welcome to increase the weight factor. Okay, so let's start off. So here I'm going to do anywhere between 8 to 10 reps, just to show you guys. 2. Again, challenging exercise, so you got to make sure to really control that breathing as best you can. Okay, naturally the back's going to arch a little bit because you're in a standing position, so it's only normal. But again, this can be tough because to be able to secure this position with an overhead exercise can be very, very challenging for the body. Okay, last one. And 10. Okay, so we're going to switch over now, do the other side. Same thing. Okay, so again, anywhere between 8 to 10 reps is pretty good start, guys. Otherwise, it becomes a little bit too much. You don't want to overtrain, and you don't want to overwork your body. Now, at any point you feel unstable, you want to make sure to regroup and then come back straight into it again. Try not to do the exercise when you're unstable because it can easily cause you to fall over if you're not careful. Remember, safety comes first. And rest. All right? All right, so we're going to rest for about 45 seconds on this one. This is a little bit more challenging, so give yourself a little bit more time to rest, recover. Make sure you drink some water, hydrate, whatever you need to do. We'll get straight back into set number 2. Okay. All right, so as I mentioned, I'm trying to show you guys exactly, especially those of you who have no idea how to build your body. I want to know the right way you're building your body. This is the best way to do it. You have to follow those stages. When you start off with stabilization endurance, these kind of routines should be done for maybe a couple months to about 3 months, maybe even 4 months if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more. Right after that, you start incorporating the next phases. But this phase right here needs to be taken very, very seriously and needs to be given some considerate amount of time because it's the most challenging area of your body to work. Okay, without that stability throughout your inner muscles in your body, your inner fibers, you cannot support yourself properly when you're doing other exercises down the line. Okay, so it's important. All right, let's go into set number 2. So same thing. Keep that leg up high, dumbbells up, come straight up. You want to go to about midpoint. If you need to go a little bit lower, guys, so you have a little rest point, you're more than welcome to. I always like to keep it to midpoint. So I really challenge my shoulders a little bit more. But again, you don't have to if you don't want to. Take it at your own stride. Make sure to breathe, exhale on the way up. Engage that core. Keep that balance, guys. Okay, we're challenging our balance. And again, there are going to be moments where some of you might feel a little bit unstableness. You want to make sure to really regroup and start again. Okay? Don't try to force it if you're not balanced out. Last one. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to switch over now, do the other side. So same thing, keep that leg up, come straight into it. All right, guys, we're almost there. All right, so I'm getting to the point where my shoulders are getting tired, so I'm going to cut it down to 8 reps. Again, you got to be smart. If you feel that your muscles are starting to get tired, you're more than welcome to cut it down. 8 to 10 reps is what I recommend for those of you who are starting off beginners. Give yourself about a 45-second break in between each set. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to go into, focusing now on the lower body, guys. Okay, we're going into a more complex exercise now. So this exercise that I'm going to show you here is a single leg squat. Now the single leg squats require a little bit more stability. Okay, they're an exercise basically that needs to be challenged to a point where you can really feel the leg complex working. Okay, but you got to use your core support to be able to keep you balanced out. Okay, so single leg squat is a little bit tougher to do. Okay, 2 ways you can do this. The more advanced way is holding this position and coming down. Now, some of you might find this very difficult. I definitely recommend not doing this when you start off. It's a little bit more advanced. So the best way to start is by doing it right here on the bench. Okay, so with the bench here, it's a little bit easier to do. Now one leg, you're going to come down. Now what I like to do, guys, when you first start off, you have these rests here where if you have a sofa or a chair at home, feel free to use them. Okay, we're going to use this to push ourselves up a little bit to start. Naturally, you're going to use a little bit of support, and then you're going to use it to come up. Okay, but it's the best way to really strengthen that one specific side of that leg, okay, by keeping your balance. And as you progress, as you see your core can handle it, your legs getting stronger, and then you can just go straight up and down, okay, without having to use support. Now, this can be a little bit tough to do, okay, but it's a good way to really progress after you feel that you've built that inner strength. But start off by using the rests, come up. Okay, so we're going to do anywhere between 8 to 10 reps here to get you started. Okay, nice and easy control. Okay, so the rest is definitely a good way to get you started. Okay, now for those of you guys who have knee problems or hip problems, this is not an exercise that I recommend for you. These exercises that I'm showing you guys are basically more for people who are in a healthy state, okay, who obviously want to challenge their bodies to build that those deep fibers, build that core strength, okay? So if you're one of those people that have limited mobility or limited strength in those joints, it's important for you to start out by doing both legs together. That's what I recommend. It's a little bit easier to do. Okay, but this one right here, if you want, for those of you who obviously are at the beginning, who want to challenge yourselves, are healthy, feel free to do them. Okay, so we're going to switch over to the other leg now. Same thing. Again, use the rest if you need to, guys. It's the best way to start. Working your way up. Okay, really control that as best you can. Okay, so I'm using the rest here just kind of give me a little bit more added support. Excellent. Okay, we're almost there. So we've got a couple more. Last one. And rest. Nice and done. All right, so we're just going to rest again for another 40 to 45 seconds, and we'll get into set number 2. Okay, so again, great exercise. Very challenging at first for a lot of you, so make sure to use a little bit of that support from those headrests, okay, from the couch, from a chair, whatever it takes, okay, to get you started. Then you can progress on as you go on from there, okay? All right, so set number 2, same thing. You want to make sure to really control that speed too. Don't go too fast on this one. Okay, starting off with this leg. So right leg on the ground, left leg comes up in suspension. Okay, it's a great tool to use to really strengthen the joints, the hips, and the knees. Okay, again, another benefit of doing these kind of exercises is for deep strengthening in the joints. Okay, to improve their arthrokinetic function. Nice and easy. Work your way up, work your way down. You got to make sure to use that core strength. Okay, last one, guys. Good job. So we're going to switch it over now. Let's kind of shake it off a little bit. On the sides, so we're going to bring the left leg on the ground, the right leg up. Okay, same thing. So anywhere between 8 to 10 reps. And really control that. Nicely done. All right, so this one right here, again, you got to make sure to really control that pace as best you can. If you feel you need to regroup, just sit down again, guys. Go straight into it, okay? Again, unstable, unbalanced exercises need to be controlled using your proprioceptive capabilities. So, meaning working that link between the mind and the body. If that link is not connected, you have to make sure to regroup and start again. Okay, the worst thing you want to do is be shaky and all of a sudden get in a position where you've fallen over. So make sure to control that as best you can. Nice and easy. Okay, so we got a couple more to finish up. Last one. And rest. All right. All right, so another great exercise right there. Single leg squat. Again, starting off with a nice support system, or if you want to progress a little bit more, you're more than welcome to incorporate it in a different way. Okay, like I showed you. Okay, so we're going to go straight into now a single leg glute bridge. Okay. So with this one right here, again, it's a little bit more challenging to do the bridges. It's a little more challenging to do the bridges, guys, when you're doing it with one leg at a time. But again, we're trying to build that stability, build those deeper muscles, so it's a great way to do it. If you feel that the one-legged bridge is too challenging, I recommend you going into the two-legged start. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to lie down here on your mat. Okay, make sure to control your balance here. Engage that core. We're going to come up. Okay, same thing. So similar to you doing in the two-legged bridge, but this time we're just using one leg at a time. Okay, so you got to use that strength from that one side of that glute, incorporate that core to really work in fully to support your stability as you go up. Okay, nice and easy. So we're going to do anywhere between 10 to 12 reps here. It's a good one to start. Okay, again, this is going into intermediate level, so you're more than welcome to regress by doing 2 legs and then incorporate it to 1 leg as you get stronger. Okay, so we got a couple more. Beautiful. So we're just going to rest for about 15 seconds, and we're going to switch over to the other side. Okay, we're going to come up. So same thing. Nice and easy. Just really control that breathing. There you go. Nicely done. Nice and controlled pace all the way up and all the way down. Okay, you want to do the best you can on this one. Okay, and again, if you need to regress, feel free to keep those legs down. Okay, a couple more, guys. So come all the way up with the hips. Last one. And rest. So we're just going to rest now for about 30 seconds. Make sure to give those glutes a little bit of a rest point, and then after that we'll get into set number 2. Okay, so we're going to switch over again. So make sure to start off. I like to start off with the right leg, then work our way to the left. But again, it's up to you. You don't have to necessarily do it because we're going back and forth. We're using both legs anyway. So whatever you want to feel comfortable doing. All right, come straight up. Same thing. Nice and controlled pace. Do the best you can with this one. Alright, so make sure your breathing is consistent, guys, when you're doing these. These are very challenging, so your breathing needs to come into play. Okay, so I got a couple more. Beautiful. Alright, so we're going to switch sides now, do the other side. Same thing here. There you go. So really bring those hips up to the top. Remember, you're working from the hips. You're not necessarily bringing your whole body into it. It's just the hips coming straight up. Your glutes are going into full extension. Okay, so we got a couple more. And rest. Nice job, guys. Alrighty. Okay, so that exercise right there, as I mentioned, is a single leg bridge. Again, a little bit challenging for some of you who are starting off. So again, if you feel you need to start, please start off with a regular 2-legged bridge. Okay, after your glutes and your overall lower back and core in general get a little stronger and your balance improves as well, then you can obviously progress to that single leg. Now, the single leg is a great one to do because it challenges your proprioceptive capabilities. Okay, your balance muscles get worked in a little bit harder than usual, so definitely incorporate that too into your stabilization endurance routine. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so we're going back into the upper body now. We're going to do a single leg dumbbell curl. So working the biceps. So this one, again, don't need a lot of weight, guys. Okay, I like to incorporate like 15 pounds, but you guys don't need to do that. When you first start off, again, when you're doing balance exercises like this one, you got to make sure that you start off with a lighter weight. So anywhere between 5 to 10 pounds for those of you who are beginners is definitely what I recommend. Okay, so again, working on trying to improve our balance, our stability, and our inner core strength, and our overall stabilizer strength throughout our body. This is a great tool to use as well. Okay, so we're going to come up. So anywhere between 10 to 12 reps here. The straight bicep curls, keeping those elbows locked in. Okay, make sure those elbows are locked in right in your rib cage. Okay, trying to keep that position as steady as possible. Again, you use a lot more of your core muscles here to really keep yourself stable. So definitely a good strengthening tool there too. Control that as best you can. Again, if you need to regroup, guys, you feel shaky, feel free to bring your feet down. Okay, get yourself back into a neutral zone again, and then come back up into it once you feel secure. Okay, back into it. Okay, a couple more. So you can see it's a lot of reps. We're doing 2 legs at a time, so you got to make sure that you're actually using a lighter weight there because it can be a lot of repetitions at the end of the day. So, okay, so I like to bring, now we're bringing up my right leg. So same thing. So we're going into another 10 to 12 reps. Nice and easy. Make sure to really control that pace. Okay, easy tempo, about 3 to 4 seconds on the way up and on the way down. Nice control. Make sure to breathe. Okay, a couple more, guys. Last one. There we go. All right. Again, take your time, grab some water, whatever you feel you need to do, okay? We're going to come back in set number 2 in about 30 seconds. So same thing, all right? So challenging, okay? Challenge yourselves, but again, don't overdo it. You got to make sure that the weight factor is reasonable. You got to make sure that the exercises are also efficient, like I'm showing you here. And you also got to make sure that your focus is on stabilization endurance. So it means that using these exercises to build that inner core and those inner, deeper balance muscles throughout your body. That's what you want. Those are your 3 goals. So when you're doing this kind of work, that should be incorporated in every single routine that you do in this phase. Okay, let's get into set number 2. Same thing. Again, keeping a leg up high. Balance is key. That's everything. Secure yourself and then come straight into it. 2, nice and easy control. 3, 4, really keeping those elbows locked in. 6, keep going, guys. 7, 8. So you can see I'm really keeping my elbows locked in right inside of my rib cage and my leg straight up high. Okay, got 2 more. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to switch over now. Okay, just kind of loosen it up, your shoulders a little bit. If you want to bring your dumbbells down to the ground for about 15-20 seconds, feel free to, guys. Don't need to necessarily do it the way I'm doing. I'm just kind of showing you guys how you should be working in this technique and doing this exercise with it. Okay, so coming in, same thing again. I need to regroup sometimes myself, so feel free to do so if you need to. Nice controlled pace on the way up, on the way down. Don't need to go use too much of a quick tempo on this exercise, guys, because again, not only is it a weight training exercise, but you're trying to focus on your balance. Okay, so the dumbbells are not that relevant at this point. They become secondary nature. Okay, the first purpose of this exercise, the main focus, is on your balance. Last one. Nicely done. Alrighty, so that was a little single leg dumbbell curl. Okay, another great exercise to incorporate into this routine. We got one more exercise to go, and then we're going to do a little ab routine at the end. Okay, so this next exercise we're going to be doing is a chest exercise. Now this one right here, we're going to show you, we're going to be lying down on our mat. Okay, so again, you guys, some of you guys are obviously beginners starting off in this phase. Weight factor shouldn't be too heavy. Okay, with the chest exercise, naturally, because it's a bigger muscle group, you're more than welcome to go a little bit more if you want to, but try to keep it at a lower weight factor to start off, so you can really control that movement and engage that core, focusing on this primarily, remember. So, we're going to do a little chest exercise now. Okay, so with this one, I'm going to show you is going to come up like this. Okay, you're going to try to keep your legs suspended here. The reason why we do legs suspended is because we're going to try and challenge again our same focus, okay? Coming down, coming straight up. So we're going to do anywhere between 10 to 12 reps. Make sure to keep that neck on the ground. Okay, support that neck while you're doing these. Okay, these are a little bit tougher to do than keeping your feet on the ground. You have to use a little bit more of that core strength to stabilize yourself. Okay, nice and easy on the way up and the way down. Okay, guys, so make sure to control that breathing. Got a couple more reps. Beautiful. So make sure to bring the dumbbells down to the ground, and you want to come up. Okay, so that's our first set. Again, as you noticed, instead of keeping our feet down on the ground, we're trying to keep our legs suspended. What that does, it challenges a little bit more of those deeper fibers in your core and overall upper and lower back as well. Not to mention your legs have to be used as a support system too to keep your balance. Okay, so rest a little bit. We're going to get straight back into it in about 10 seconds. Okay, so come down slowly, lift your dumbbells up. Now make sure you have stability first. So when you're keeping your legs on, make sure that the dumbbells are stable ahead of you. Okay, you gotta engage that core, and then you can come straight into it. Nice and easy. Okay, I got a couple more, guys. And drop the dumbbells and rest. All right, nicely done. Okay, so what we're going to do now, our last exercise of the day, okay? Actually, last exercise, to be honest, of the series, because I was trying to show you a couple different variations that you could do. Okay, efficient exercises, in my opinion, efficient routines that can really build that stabilization endurance. Okay, I recommend guys to keep doing this for the next 2 to 3 months. Okay, keep it consistent. All right, try to do maybe a couple more routines with these right here. There's 2 examples that I showed you, but again, you're more than welcome to work other techniques. Okay, but I want to show you a couple routines that you can do consistently throughout the next like 2-3 months, so you can really build that stabilization endurance throughout your body. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is 3 exercises that I think are very, very crucial to building that inner core strength, so you can use that as your support system as you go on throughout the next phases. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you is a bird dog. Now the bird dogs are a wonderful exercise. But again, not only does it challenge your balance, but it also allows you to strengthen that inner part of your core. Okay, lower back, your hip complex gets worked in. There's a lot of muscles here being targeted, so therefore I recommend you starting off by doing one of these. Okay, so all 4 position. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to come back. You're trying to bring your leg back and your arm forward. So I like to start off with the right leg back, left arm forward. We're just going to do 12 reps of these. You're really controlling that speed. Okay, now this one right here requires a little bit more stability on that other side. Okay, but again, this is a great challenging exercise to really build that overall strength in that core, those stabilizer muscles for future reference. So keep it going. Nice controlled pace. Okay, so we got a couple more. That's one. All right, nicely done. So we're going to switch sides now, guys. Working the other side. Okay, so same thing. You want to make sure they really control that all-force position. And then we're going to use the left leg back, and the right leg forward, right arm forward. Okay, so same thing. Really keeping that core engaged. Okay, really extend those extremities all the way forward, all the way back. Nice controlled pace. Make sure to keep your back as straight as possible when you're doing these. Okay, last one. And rest. Nicely done. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to rest for about 20 seconds now, and then we're going to get into a straight plank. Okay? And after that, I'm going to show you one more exercise that I feel is very, very important to do too, to strengthen the transverse area. It's a little bit of a cardio exercise, but wonderful to do as well. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to hold the plank. So for 30 seconds is what I like to start off with. Okay, and the key thing with the plank is trying to keep yourself in a straight horizontal position. If your lower back starts caving in, try to tighten your glutes and your hamstrings to give you that support. All right, just hold that plank very normally. We're almost there, guys. We got 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Now again, the planks, so some of you might be a little bit challenging. You're more than welcome to do a plank with the knees down, okay? So it's a little bit different to do, but again, it can be done like this as well. You're also working your core, okay? Or you can also come up and do an incline plank on a bench or a seat or whatever you need to as well. That's another regression that you can do. Okay, so we're going to rest 20 seconds. The last exercise I'm going to show you now are mountain climbers. Now the mountain climbers are great because you're targeting your transverse, which is that lower section of your abdominal wall, which is also really important to target as well. Okay, so we're going to get in the same plank position. Now this one right here, I like to keep my hands up high. Okay, we're going to lift our feet up, and we're just going to come in, alternating the legs back and forth. So if you look at it from a front view, you're basically going to come in and alternate the legs inside. Okay, so that's going to be our exercise. We're going to do one set here for a total of 20 seconds, and then the second set again for another total of 20 seconds. You ready? Go for it. So you're going to kind of alternate. Keep a consistent pace. You don't want to go too fast when you start because these can be a little bit challenging. Okay, and if you feel you can't do it on the ground, you're more than welcome to do it a little bit higher up on the bench or a seat, a little bit less challenging. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Okay, so we're going to rest for 20 seconds. We're going to get into the second set, and that should be it. So, again, great exercises to do. Okay, what I recommend, guys, when you're doing this kind of routine is to make sure to do it for about maybe 2 to 3 sets. Okay, this whole pattern, those 3 exercises, 2 to 3 sets each. Okay, if you want to incorporate them together as a circuit as you go on to build more strength, you're more than welcome to as well. All right, but start off light. Okay, so set number 2, go for it. So you're going to kind of alternate back and forth, working that transverse. Really control that speed. Nice and easy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, guys. That was our stabilization endurance series for this week. Again, just a couple routines that I want to show you. It's a phase that honestly can be incorporated in a lot of different ways. But I find that when you first start out by doing it in unstable surfaces, it's the best way to begin. A lot of people find that when you do it on unstable surface, it can be challenging. But if you do it in a with light dumbbells, do it with some great support system on the ground. So don't do it using any equipment like a Bosu ball or a Dynadisc or even with an Airx pad. Those can be a little bit challenging to start. Start off on the ground itself, just by keeping that leg up straight. Maybe a stability ball if you want to use that as well, like our first routine. You're more than welcome to do that. Okay, but it's the best way to start out by building this overall area, those deeper muscles throughout your body. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this series. Okay, don't forget to comment below if you have any questions on any of my videos. I'll make sure to return to you. If you have any advice or anything like that, feel free to share that as well. Okay, please feel free to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And stay tuned next week as I'm going to incorporate now the second phase of our training, which is going to be strength endurance. Enjoy. Till next time.